I am 28, divorced, and utterly lost. I ended up in Chatham, Alabama. My grandfather's old place was the only refuge left after my life imploded. 10 acres of whispering woods, 10 minutes from a town barely on the map. Silence was what I craved. What I got was something else entirely. The house groaned with age. Drafts snuck through unseen cracks, wood floors protested every step, and a perpetual chill clung to the air, defying the furnace. Free was its only virtue. The first few nights were pure, blessed quiet. Just me, a beer on the creaking porch, and the rustle of leaves under a star-dusted sky. Peace. Then, on the 7th night, it began. Midnight, drifting off. Then a whistle. Not a cheerful tune, but a slow, faltering melody, jarringly off-key. It drifted from the woods behind the house, like someone wandering through the pines, oblivious. My skin prickled. Hunter? Drunk? I tried to shrug it off. It returned the next night. Same broken tune, closer now. The porch light revealed nothing. Sweeping the yard with my flashlight found only shadows and silence. The whistling just faded deeper into the trees, leaving me cold. Ignoring it became impossible. Night after night, like clockwork, it started. Always around 1:17 a.m. That specific time etched itself into my dread. Was it deliberate? Someone targeting the lone man in the old house? I called the sheriff. Deputy H arrived, a man etched with the lines of decades on the job. His weathered face turned grave as I described the whistling. "Your granddaddy," he said slowly, "used to call us about the exact same thing, every spring. Said someone whistled round the property late. We never found a trace. Figured it was just age. But now you..." He trailed off, eyeing the encroaching woods. His advice was simple. Lock up tight, stay inside after dark, like I wasn't already. But the whistling kept advancing. One night, it echoed from behind the shed, loud and unnervingly close. I peered through the blinds, flashlight beam trembling. Nothing. The next night, it was on the front porch. 3 long, piercing notes right at my door. Then silence, thick and menacing. Then, the worst. It came from beneath me, under the floorboards, a slow, off-key whistle drifting up through the vents, like someone crouched in the dank crawl space, serenading my terror. Sleep vanished. Desperate, I tore through the attic the next day. Dust and memories yielded a box of my grandfather's journals. Page after page detailed the whistling. Every spring for over a decade. He didn't know who, but he believed they were watching. He'd sat by the door, rifle across his lap, just like I was contemplating. He noted it only started after Grandma died, when he was alone. Just like me. I called Deputy H back. He read the brittle pages, his knuckles white. "Be careful, son," he muttered, a new urgency in his voice. "Don't open that door for anyone." That night, I didn't wait in bed. I sat rigid on the couch, my grandfather's heavy shotgun, a weapon I barely understood, resting on my knees. The hallway light was off. 1:17 a.m. The whistle began, but not from outside. It came from the dark hallway inside my house. Ice flooded my veins. The sound moved, slow, deliberate footsteps accompanying the whistling, drawing nearer. I lurched up, fumbling the shotgun to my shoulder. "Who's there?" My shout cracked the silence. The whistling stopped dead. I slammed the light switch. Empty hallway, nothing. 2 days of fragile silence followed. I was a wreck, jumpy, exhausted, sick with fear. Hallucinations? Ghosts? No. This was flesh and blood. Real malice. On the 3rd night, drained, I went to bed early, leaving the hallway light burning. Midnight passed. Then, 1:17 a.m. Sharp, deliberate knocks shattered the quiet. 3 of them. Boom, 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 not on the door. From inside the house, near the back door. My blood froze. I lay rigid, straining. A minute later, Creak. A floorboard in the dark hallway. Then another. Footsteps. Slow. Deliberate. The hallway light blinked out. Panic propelled me. I grabbed the shotgun, my heart a jackhammer against my ribs. I wrenched open my bedroom door. The hallway was a pit of blackness. At the far end, silhouetted against the faint moonlight from a window, stood a figure, dressed in black, face unnervingly pale, utterly still, watching me. I raised the shotgun. My hands shook violently. "Don't move!" My voice was a strangled rasp. The figure shifted, one leg lifting, body coiling to run. "Stop!" I screamed. In a blur, they spun and bolted down the hall, vanishing from sight. Heavy, pounding footsteps thundered through the living room, followed by the crash of the front door bursting open. I charged outside into the cool night. Blind terror took over. I didn't aim high. I squeezed the trigger, the blast deafening, the kick slamming my shoulder. Buckshot tore into the darkness towards the fleeing footsteps. "Don't come back!" I roared into the void, the echo mixing with the ringing in my ears. I scrambled back inside, locked the shattered door, and fled to my truck. I spent the rest of the night parked under a buzzing streetlight in Chadam. Deputy H met me at the house at dawn. The front door stood slightly ajar, unlocked. Confirmation. They had a key. Nothing was stolen, nothing vandalized, just violation. Deputy H officially suggested changing the locks. Then, leaning close, his voice low, he added, "Off the record, get out of this place. Something in these woods. It didn't want your granddaddy here. Doesn't want you." I drove straight to the hardware store. New locks were on by noon. By 2, I was on the highway, putting Alabama in my rearview mirror, heading for my parents' crowded, noisy suburban home. I left it to my father to sell the old house. We took the journals, a few photos, the rest stayed. He never mentioned the decades-long stalker to the buyers. How they got a key? Who they were? Why Granddad never told us? The questions fester. It wasn't ghosts, just a predator, patient and cruel, rooted deep in those lonely woods. I live in the city now, surrounded by constant noise. Silence? I can't bear it anymore.